Cannabis and clean eating. Wow, those two things really don't sound like they go together at all, do they? I would say in popular culture, most people don't automatically think cannabis after clean eating or clean eating after cannabis, right? But I'm here to change the narrative. And for me and thousands of other women just like you, clean eating and cannabis absolutely go together. So let's talk about it. I'm Beth, your personal trainer and cannabis educator and founder of CannaFit. And if you're new here, thanks for checking it out. Thanks for pressing play. This is the stuff we talk about at CannaFit, is how to make cannabis work for you. You have fitness goals, you're working hard in the gym, or maybe you're just starting back in the gym, or you're working out at home, or maybe you're just really committed to getting your steps in, and you know that makes a big difference in your body, right? Whatever you choose, whatever mode of movement you choose and you love, you're doing it because you feel good in your body. Maybe you're trying to lose weight, maybe you're just trying to maintain your weight. Everybody's goals look different. But if you're here, then I know that tells me that you are deeply caring about how your body looks and feels, right? And as a personal trainer for almost 20 years, I know the ins and outs of that like the back of my hand. Cannabis, however, right? Cannabis has a totally different social, connotation to it, right? But here's the thing. You think that cannabis automatically means it's unhealthy. We were conditioned to think it's a drug growing up, and, there's still a lot of bad press and bad media, poor media about it. But the truth is, it's actually a wellness tool, and it actually can help you eat healthier. It's just, you just have to know a little bit about it, and let's talk about that. So let's talk about it. I actually use cannabis to help me eat healthier. Now, let me pause for a second and just say that when I talk about cannabis in general on this podcast, especially, I'm talking about the plant itself. The plant itself contains two major cannabinoids, two major properties. One is CBD, which is the non-intoxicating kind of cannabis, and one is THC, which is the intoxicating kind of cannabis that gets you high, right? So I'm talking about both, and I'm actually going to make some important distinctions here, because cannabis, whether you're using CBD and not getting high, or whether you're using THC and you are getting high, both of those can help you with clean eating. Now, if you've been listening for a while, I've been talking about the munchies a lot. If you follow me on social media, you've probably seen me talk about the munchies, and I've been talking a lot about the distinction between what we think the munchies are, which is an overeating, just this ravenous need for as much food as possible. And that's not actually what the munchies are. The munchies are just heightened awareness. It's heightened awareness about your hunger levels. It's heightened awareness about the pleasure of food. It's heightened pleasure around food, right? Everything, when you use cannabis, especially THC, everything is heightened. All of your senses are heightened. That's what it does in your body. So you are much more aware, right? And unfortunately, what happens when we use THC is there's heightened awareness, and our brains have been basically brainwashed by I'll call it big food, quote unquote big food, which is companies that make junk food. Companies that like potato chip manufacturers, for example. This is a great example because they purposefully and religiously study how food is the most palatable to humans, right? They try to make food just undeniable. You cannot eat just one was like the most true marketing statement ever. It's like the most genius tagline because it is literally what they want you to do, is not eat just one. So they study food science to make food more enticing for our brains. All that is adding fat, adding sugar, and adding salt. And our brains light up like a firecracker. And that gives us all kinds of, emotional and dopamine hits, and your body's just flooded with these feel-good chemicals. So of course, when you're high, when you use cannabis, you're attracted to the most pleasurable sensation. So your brain thinks that, chips are going to be the ultimate snack, right? But this is simply a mind trick. And quite honestly, it's exactly as difficult when you're not high, because it's food science. Food that's high in fat, sugar, and salt makes your brain light up, makes it easier to consume, makes it easier to, it makes it harder to deny. It makes it harder to, abstain, because your brain gets so excited. But here's the important part. But just because that's happening in your brain does not mean that you have to succumb to that thought, right? What we have talked about in the past, if you've been listening before, is there's a moment between you having that thought and your brain lighting up like a firecracker and going, ooh, sugar, salt, fat, right? Let's go get it. Potato chips, M&Ms, chocolate chips, chocolate, pizza, all the good things, right? That aren't clean eating. Let's just be real here. Those are not clean. And so you can use that moment between the thought and the action to make a different decision. And you make a different decision by dropping into your body. And we've talked about this, how you have to go in and you have to ask your stomach, like, what is going on with you here? Do you need more food? Are you satisfied? Do we eat enough today? Do you need something else? What is it that you need? What would be satisfying? And you have to tell that part of your brain to shut up, Yeah, of course, everybody loves sugar, salt, and fat. Yeah, okay, let's shut up. And let me ask stomach for a second, because chances are your stomach, when you ask it and you start listening to it, it generally doesn't love an overload of any one of those things or all three together. When you eat a ton of sugar, right, your stomach will have a reaction to that. Your body will have a physical reaction to eating a lot of sugar. And that will feel different than the reaction your body has to eating clean foods. So, for example, if you say you are high and you have the munchies, and when I say that, I mean you have a heightened sensation of the fact that you're hungry. And you're like, I am hungry. I did not eat enough today, and I am not satisfied, and I am craving sugar, right? If you go and you start opening the M&Ms and you start eating M&Ms, right? You are going to feel one way, right? Chances are that way is maybe not so good, maybe a little sick, right? And you start to get that kind of like ill feeling in your stomach, like, oof, maybe M&Ms weren't a great idea. Now, take that experience and compare it to you were to go get an orange, right? An orange. Oranges are great. They're incredibly sweet. They're just super satisfying. You get to peel them and eat them, section by section, right? That's very satisfying as well. But the experience in your stomach is different. And the problem is most people are listening to their brain instead of their stomach. So when you eat an orange, and you can eat it slowly and you enjoy, you get a lot of flavor sensations. And then when it gets to your stomach, there's not that ill feeling, right? There's not that, oof, that was too much. Oof, maybe that was too much feeling, that, that kind of like, where's the Pepto? Where are the Tums? That like sort of sick feeling, like, the feeling, right? And I'm just giving you random examples of sugar, but the same thing happens with salt. You're like, ooh, chips. Yes, give me the tortilla chips. Or, give me the Lay's, give me the Doritos. That's such a stereotype, right? Doritos and cannabis users. And you eventually start eating them, and you start to feel in your stomach starts to feel not so good, right? And that is going to happen basically with anything that's not a clean food. Foods that are high in salt, high in sugar, high in fat are eventually going to aggravate your stomach, and you're going to feel unwell in your stomach, in your digestive system. For a lot of my clients that have a hard time with this, their digestive systems are actually screaming at them. I have a client who's been tracking their food for a good while, like months. And, I don't love that as a permanent behavior, but it's been showing us some valuable insight, because every time this person has fried food or sweets, a lot of sweets, or alcohol, the digestive upset is unbearable. And yeah, we're open. We talk about these things because this is really important. When your digestive system clearly yells at you every time you eat, we'll call unclean, not clean food, things that are high in sugar, salt, or fat. When your digestive system reacts to that in a not a pleasant way, then that's a clear message from your body, right? And that's where you can really see the difference between your body and your brain. Your brain said, yeah, let's go. We got it. We love it. It's like fireworks. We love that feeling, that quick hit of dopamine when we're going to eat chips and we're going to eat them till we can't stop. But that stomach, that's probably going to happen secondary, right? But this is the thing though. It's going to happen because it happens every single time. So you have to start listening to your body and talking back to your brain, because they're not always on the same page. Your brain, again, lights up, ooh, yeah, let's eat chips. And your body is going, please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't. But we typically ignore the body until later, until it yells at us and you spend an entire morning in the bathroom, right? And that's the whole trick, right? Is listening to what your body is saying, knowing that your brain is going to try to do the easiest, do the best, do the most dopamine hit possible. And your body is going to tell you something different. And the body is the part you have to listen to. And ultimately, you have to take a pause between having the thought and having the action and actually getting up and getting it. So the brain says thought, you have to wait and say, wait a second, if I go get those chips, what's the body going to say? And you have to come back to the body and you have to ask your stomach, and remember that your stomach is going to say later, oh, I really wish we didn't do that. Really wish we didn't do that. And that is how you change behavior. It's a pattern. Behavior change is just patterns. I mean, all of life is just patterns. But this is using your experience, right? Looking at the pattern, seeing the problem, and now taking that with you. And you do have to do it consciously, because what I see a lot of with clients is they think it's just going to happen automatically, right? Or they're like, oh, well, won't I just remember that next time? And won't that just stop me then? No, it's not going to stop you. You have to stop you. You have to talk back to your brain, and you have to say, no, last time you told me to do that, I ended up in the bathroom and I, didn't get to go out to breakfast with my friends, or I missed a meeting, or I didn't get to take my kids to school, or whatever it is. Like, there's consequences. Even if just spending the morning in the bathroom is a consequence enough, which it probably is because it's really unpleasant, that is your message. And that experience, you have to tell your brain that this is connected. I'm having this horrible experience because I listened to you trying to get some easy pleasure, right? So when we talk about cannabis and clean eating, they can go together, because cannabis can help you tap more into your body. Now, I talked at the beginning about how cannabis is a sensory enhancement, right? It's going to enhance the sensation of hunger, okay? If you are hungry, if you're not hungry, it's going to enhance the pleasure of food. If you start thinking about food, it's going to enhance the pleasure from food, right? But it's also enhancing the sensation in your body. You just have to listen, and you have to train yourself to listen. And it's actually really, really, really simple to do. And I know it sounds like you're like, why do I have to have an extra step? It's too hard. It's too much work. It's not too much work. It's not. It's just thinking and looking at it in a different way, right? We're just programmed to look at things the same way, the same way, the same way. And we have to start looking at it in a different way. Feel your body. And I'm telling you this, you maybe already experienced this when you use cannabis. You ever get like just more sensations in your body? Like when I first used to get high, I used to like feel different body parts a lot. Like I'd be like, I can really feel my arm. I can really feel my lips today. Things just get heightened. That's what THC does in your body. It heightens it. So you're going to use that, and you're going to put your mind into your stomach and your digestive system and be like, okay, what does that feel like right now? Where is this going? What is it feeling like? And you can even do it as you eat. That's fine too. Have your snack, get whatever you want, but start to listen. Eat slowly. Listen to what's happening as you chew, as you swallow, as that food moves down your system into your stomach through your digestive system. It's never too late to tap into that and say, hey, what's going on? That's uncomfortable. I don't love the way that's sitting in my stomach right now. Maybe I stop. Maybe I should stop. Maybe I should put this away. To go slow, take a pause, ask your body what's going on. And it can help you make better choices. It's going to help you stop what you're doing, right? Stop the sugar, salt, and high-fat foods. It's going to help you make better choices because you're going to remember, last time I had French fries,